Spence Hill.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and be completely honest because that's what I feel like this should always be about. We already tried recording this and I messed up and forgot to turn on the mics. And we probably got in 10, 15 minutes of fantastic conversation.
Man, I feel like there was some good answers in there, man. I feel like I was crushed.
It was a good practice round.
Round two.
It was a good practice round.
Round two, baby. Let's go.
We're gonna revisit some of the stuff that we already spoke about. But first, what is this? What is this box?
Yeah, man. I come bearing gifts. So, as a lover of fashion and more specifically a headwear lover, my business partner and I, Monty, launched Urbane Ritual almost exactly 3 years ago. November 2022.
Oh, nice.
Transitional headwear built for your active lifestyle.
Okay.
We have 30 SKUs. Why don't you just take a peek in there?
Yeah.
See if there's anything that jives with you, bro.
And you get a personalized note.
Yeah, see? It's the details, bro.
Keep up great work. It's all in the details. Define your ritual. Look at that. Look at that packaging. That is fire.
You like that?
I like that a lot.
So our hero silhouette is that trucker. And we do them that are branded with the UR debossed in there.
I'm going to wear one now.
Yeah.
For the entire episode. Let's see.
And then, we've got kind of our version of a dad hat. And then that last one is called the Tour Flip, which is our version of a kind of a sweat-proof foam bill workout hat.
This is so sick. And then this is...
Got a little beanie in there, a little sun hat.
You know what's funny is that I was just thinking about going home for the holidays, which is back in Maryland. And so it's going to be cold. And I was like, I got to get a beanie. I got to get...
Say less, doggy.
Perfect.
Let's go.
Timing. I was gonna wear a sun hat today.
Yeah.
I was. It's not as cool as this one though.
I've got all the hits. I'm playing all the hits for you, bro.
Definitely. This is so sick.
And that safety orange is kind of the through line of our brand. There's a lot of orange going on, a lot of orange little hits. On some of our stuff.
It's called safety orange.
Safety orange is
just your term for it, or
is the term for it if you're wearing it out in the woods and when you're hunting.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Got you.
Yeah, it looks good on you, bro.
Thank you.
Nice. I knew you'd wear it well. Friggin' models, bro. Models.
All right.
You look good in a freaking knapsack.
All right, let's get into it.
Okay.
Spence Hill. We have one of those unique friendships where we didn't meet in person for the first time. We have a lot of mutual friends and we've worked for a lot of the same clients, and we just sort of connected via social media and until we did meet in person, which was for a shoot for Caldwell Banker. And when I tell you that it was one of the most warm feelings I've felt with anybody, let alone somebody that I'd never actually met in person. So I'm sitting in the makeup chair.
Hold that thought. You're falling over.
You slide. Sinking in the sand.
Hold on.
Pull it up and then just adjust it. There you go.
All right. Sinking back in. Here I come.
Nice.
Continue.
And it was just one of the most genuine interactions that I've had on set. Especially since we had never really met in person. You just had the most welcoming smile. You pulled up with your beautiful family. And it was just all around, it was just a great first meeting in general, right?
Agreed. Yeah, and I knew you from, I've seen your body of work, obviously, which I'm a huge fan of. And like you said, we worked with all the same people. And if you're on one of those Taylor Stitch road shows, takes a special person to do that. And then obviously another really, really important person to me and you, Nick. Shout out to Nick. I knew you guys were tight as well, so I already knew what kind of dude you were. I felt like I knew you already.
Yeah.
That's why I walked straight over to you and gave you a big bear hug, like you were my long lost bro.
It was so nice.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about, revisit, but I want to start off with, who are you?
I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest version.
Okay.
I am a father. I am a entrepreneur, actor, model, hustler. But at the end of the day, I'm just a kid from Kansas, man, trying to make it happen, falling in love with the hustle, lifelong athlete that really kind of fell into this entertainment industry world after my playing days were over as a college athlete, football player. I was still very in love with the idea of being an entertainer.
Yeah.
And so happenstance led me to a modeling agency in Kansas City. Started having some luck as I was getting ready to graduate from K-State with a marketing and international business degree.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, yo, maybe there's something to this Hollywood thing.
Yeah.
So I moved out here in 01. Crazy to say, man. I feel like such an old head when I talk about it, but I've been doing this in LA since 01, so officially half of my life.
Yeah.
I'm about to turn 48 on Saturday, and I've been out here for 24 years, so you do that math, bro.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday. I had the unique pleasure of meeting your beautiful, beautiful family. I think it's great that you guys share your work together. Seeing your kids and how professional they are on set, seeing you and your wife and how you guys interact, and even the way that you guys portray yourselves on social media, right? Just having fun and being authentic to yourselves. It's honestly inspiring, like truly, truly inspiring. I've always said that one of my largest goals in life is to be a good husband and a father. And so to see someone like you doing it, A++, right?
Man.
Is such a beautiful thing. So I wanted to give you those flowers, and I wanted to ask you, like, how have you found sort of your work-life balance to be, balancing entrepreneurship, balancing your modeling career with being such a good dad and a good husband?
Yeah. Well, thank you for those kind words. It's definitely not easy.
Yeah.
Juggling everything, and especially being in, arguably the most cutthroat industry in the world, where it's so competitive, and it can feel so, I guess, singular, because at the end of the day, it is competitive. At the end of the day, I am trying to beat out this guy and this guy and this guy for this job. And so there's a stress that comes along with that I feel like I've been able to kind of ride the wave. I've been able to be of the mindset, if I didn't get it, it wasn't meant for me. There's another thing that's coming around the corner. But for me, the work-life balance just all revolves around the kind of person I want to be, the authentic, loving, kind, curious, and trying to instill that in my kids is kind of number one for me.
Yeah.
They're influenced by what I do. They're influenced by my actions, my words, and so I'm very cognizant of that. Not always the best, sometimes I falter and slip, and I wear that as well. I've gotten very good at apologies when I don't live up to what I know I should be doing. But you said it. I married my soulmate, and it's crazy. We get to work together. We get to go to work together with our kids, and so, in essence, not only from the pictures on our phones, but the pictures that we have out there in the universe, out in the World Wide Web. We have this kind of cool little time capsule that we can look back on, hopefully with fondness. My kids have been doing this since they were born, since they were babies. And so it's not like they're the kids that are like, oh, mommy, daddy, can I be an actor? They're like, they're pros.
Yeah.
They're working, and they know what it takes. They know how to hit their marks. They know how to take direction, which has been one of the cool things about having our kids doing it is they get to be around coworkers. You be on a set, for instance, Coldwell Banker, where we met.
Yeah.
There's 40 people on set.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's gaffers, there's grips, there's sound guys, there's lighting, there's clients. So they know what every person's role is. They
Yeah.
walk into Video Village, they know what's going on. They can talk to the director like, you know, they now that they've gotten older and they're kind of a little bit more curious about the whole program, they'll have ideas. Like when Justin was shooting that day, they're like, "Ooh, what if I did this? What if when I come down the stairs and should I turn when I put my backpack on?" So it's like those little things that sometimes can be, you know, movie magic.
They're learning how to collaborate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's cool. So sometimes they're not as jazzed about it as I would like for them to be, but
Sure,
you know, they're 9 and 12.
Yeah, they're kids.
They'd rather be on Roblox on their iPads, you know? But it's cool. And I got to thank you for those kind words, because it's cool when people notice that, and it's something that we pride ourselves on, you know, being a family unit, all for one for all, and just being a loving crew that tries to put our best foot forward and be our authentic selves in every situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I don't say this very often, at least not to people in person. So it's very special for me to be able to say this to you, which is that you and your wife, Alicia, are like the biggest couple goals. Like, absolutely. Like, even on set when we asked how you guys met, and just the way it was, like, you guys knew that you had such a good story. And it was just like, you knew, and I was kind of upset too at the same time, because I was like, they know they have a good story and they know we want to hear it. Just tell us. And you guys were you guys were going back and forth, and you would like trade off at spots, and I was just like, finish the story. Like, I need to know.
We get in fights about that because she's gotten really good at cutting me off. She thinks she tells the best version of that story, and I think I do. So, you know, it's cool to have that story, and it's cool that every love story is different, but ours started out on such a mutual feeling of love at first sight. That I think even now, when times are tough and things get hard, we both remember that version of ourselves.
Yeah.
We both go back to that fateful night where we laid eyes on each other, and it was curtains.
Just magic.
It was game over, dude.
Yeah.
And I never believed in that before, but it hit both of us so hard, and we had such a bond. Literally from that moment, we've been inseparable.
Yeah.
Coming up on 14 years, 12. We just had our 12-year wedding anniversary on November 1st.
Congratulations.
And look, it's not easy. There's nothing easy about marriage, you know, because you're constantly learning and evolving and growing into your own person, you know, as an individual.
Yeah.
And you would like to hope and think and dream that your significant other is along that same path.
Yeah.
Luckily for us, it's worked out that way. So we are both hustlers. We both have our hands in a lot of different things. We both know that nobody's out there handing it to us, that we have to hustle and continue to show up in every different circumstance. But yeah, man, it's an adventure.
Can you speak more to the growing as individuals, but then also growing together? Because I think, especially nowadays, there's this whole, people like to say, you know, I'm me, and I'm not going to change for anybody, or whatever the case may be, right? And I'm a firm believer that any good person is constantly changing, constantly growing, constantly improving, especially within a relationship, right? So can you speak to what it's like being in a relationship where you are both growing as individuals, but then also growing together, and sort of what that looks like? Can you speak to some of the struggles that you may have faced along the way, you know, where maybe you wanted to stay in a place, but she was ready to go this way, right?
For sure. You know, I think that when you're looking for a significant other, when you're looking for your person, you know, you don't want to compromise. You don't want to compromise and say, you know, there's so many things about this person that I love, but oof, this situation over here is not something I can deal with, because that leads to resentment, that leads to, you know, that's going to come back and bite you in the end. So not compromising from the jump is something that I think is important. But on the flip side of that coin, compromise when you're in the relationship is one of the most important things.
Yeah.
You know? And for me, you know, conflict resolution, conflict avoidance has been something for me that I've dealt with basically my whole adult life.
Okay.
And whether that manifests itself in people pleasing or skirting around a tough subject or whatever. And so I've gotten much better at that. I talked a little bit about my stint in therapy. I was in therapy for 3 years, and when you know, when you first sit down with the therapist, they're talking about what are your goals? What do you hope to accomplish by coming here?
Yeah.
And one of them was be my authentic self in every situation, and another one was how to resolve conflict in a loving manner.
Yeah.
And I say this all the time, and I learned this from my therapist. Conflict resolution, when done in a loving manner, is one of the best ways to create intimacy. Because when you can butt heads, which my wife and I do a lot.
Yeah.
We're two different people. We're two different passionate people who come from polar opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to upbringing. So we're still trying to navigate those things. We're still trying to heal childhood wounds, whatever it is, you know? And so to be able to see, kind of put yourself in other people's shoes, I think is really important for me to, you know, not think that it's my way or the highway with my wife and with my kids, you know? It makes me kinder, it makes me more patient. But yeah, man, I like, to this day, my wife and I are both, we don't take ourselves too seriously, which is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. We bust each other's balls constantly. I mean, you see on our socials lately, especially, she's having way too much fun. Scaring the shit out of me.
But that's what it should be, though, you know, having fun with it, right?
I'm gonna get her back. I'm biding my time, dude. I'm planning the scare of all scares.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it's there's no 2 days are the same, and it's a constant adventure with her, and it's just like, she's my homie, man. She's my best friend, and feel very, very lucky to have her as my partner in crime and my ride or die through this journey.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. So you've spoken a bit about who you are now. You know, you're a husband, a father, an entrepreneur, a model, an actor, a creator. Who would you say you are actively becoming?
I've been thinking about this a lot lately, just as of late. And when I knew we were sitting down, I kind of thought about it a little bit more, because I want to be thoughtful. I want to be dynamic. I want to be curious. And I feel like I'm all those things. And I feel like, you know, I'm about to be 48, like I said. So to be knocking on the door of 50 seems crazy to say out loud. I'm fiercely loyal. I'd like to say that I lean on my faith quite a bit in a lot of different circumstances. So I feel like I'm I don't know, man. I sometimes take a look in the mirror and feel like I'm that best version of myself that I've been growing into, and that I've been really leaning into every part of my personal development plan, whether it's reading, writing, manifesting, praying, cold plunging, sauning, working out, you know, 6 days a week. There's days where I feel like I'm aces, and there's days where I feel like I'm completely fucking failing. It's wild. And you know, I don't know that I can really put a finger on it. Maybe it's which direction the wind is blowing that day that makes me feel a certain way. But you know, it's it's part of the authenticity factor that we were talking about earlier. That is just, it's the most human thing,
Yeah.
you know. And you know, I get guilty of putting the highlight reels up on Instagram, partly because I feel like that's my brand. That's part of what I do for brands, is help them, you know, speak to their customers, whatever. And so sometimes sharing the other stuff that I'm dealing with, I keep that in a lot.
Yeah.
My wife, I share with my wife, and it's not like it's some doom and gloom thing. It's just normal stuff.
Yeah.
It's just the stressors of somebody who has chosen a profession and chosen to pride himself as someone who's always moving the fucking needle. I always want to be on the cutting edge of just about everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of times I feel like, and I alluded to this earlier, I feel like that duck on top of the water who's chill up top, but his little web feet are just freaking cruising.
They're working,
you
yeah.
know? And I'm not saying that because I need anybody to feel sorry for me. I'm just saying that as a normal red-blooded dude in this day and age that is trying to find as many ways possible to continue to evolve and be happy and be a role model for two amazing little strong-willed dudes who I feel like I am, you know. I stopped drinking last year.
Oh, wow. Congrats.
And for me, I was always a big drinker. It was always a big part of my life, you know.
Yeah.
And so making the commitment to go a full 365 without drinking was a big change for me, a big lifestyle change, and it's made a huge difference in my life. It's made a huge difference in the way I show up for myself, for my wife and kids, in relationships, professionally, you know. So I'm very, very proud of that situation too.
Let me ask you, I don't want to say struggle, how much of that was a challenge for you? Because I know, especially nowadays, a lot of people do turn to alcohol or other substances as a release or as an escape or as a break from everything else that they have going on, right? How much of that was a challenge for you to be like, this is impacting me more in a negative way than it is in a positive way?
As of late, before I finally decided to put it down, I was very mid-range. I would, you know, have a couple drinks here and there throughout the week. I wasn't, you know, blacking out. I wasn't binge drinking anymore. But even that, at my age, you know, 48, you have a couple drinks and you feel that in the morning, whether it's a, you know, Jameson and ginger or a glass of wine or a couple beers, whatever, you feel that. And it feeds on your, you know, it kills your motivation. It kills the way you look, you know, like I don't feel like I look my age, but I feel like if I continue down a path of, you know, excess when it comes to booze, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to look like a freaking first baseman's mitt.
Absolutely.
You know, and as somebody who does all these things, you know, skincare, workout regimen, whatever it is, it's like, why not explore what that looks like? You know?
Yeah.
And so for me, you know, it was if I was happy, I was drinking. If I was sad, I was drinking. If I was anxious, I was drinking. If I was celebrating something, you know, it was just always there. The first, you know, few months are tough when you're like, you find yourself in those positions. You're like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
You know, so it's cool to explore that side of things. I've experienced pretty much every situation in life, buzzed or whatever. So to know that you can be in all those situations where, you know, normally you're having 2 or 3 drinks and you don't need it anymore. Definitely a confidence that comes with that. And it's been cool to see, you know, because I've been very vocal about it. I've been outwardly
Love that.
vocal.
Love that.
And so people will either DM me or see me in person and ask me about it and be like, hey, dude, I saw your post. I'm 3 months in now. I'm 6 months in now. You know, I found my faith again. I'm a better husband. I'm, you know, another thing too, it's like, when your kids get to be a certain age, maybe you could be have a 5-year-old and they wouldn't know what's going on. But once they get to be like mine are, 9 and 12 years old, they know what's going on.
Yeah.
They're like, what's that? What's alcohol? What does it do?
Yeah.
Does it taste good?
Yeah.
What does it do for you? You know? And so, having impressionable kids around that are watching everything you do was a big factor of that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been cool to be on that journey and be, somewhat of an inspiration. I've armed myself with alcohol-free drinks, Huberman Lab podcasts, Rich Roll, Michael Chernow, all those guys that live that life and live it well. So when you have those little things to pick and choose from in your toolbox, makes it way easier too.
I was just going to ask, now that you sort of cut that out, even though you cut those things out, the stressors still don't stop, right? You still have to be a dad, you still have to be a husband, you still have to take care of this, you still have to do your job. And life in and of itself is just, it can be a lot, So I was going to ask, how do you find peace, amongst the chaos?
I know this resonates with you as well. Exercise is, if I didn't have exercise, I mean, even if I have a couple days where I can't go to the gym, my wife is like, you need to go move your body, dude. You need to go get some fresh air.
Yeah.
So exercise is huge, the endorphins and the serotonin and everything that comes along with a great workout is huge for me. I remember when I was 12 years old, dude, and I played competitive tennis growing up. And that was the way I bonded with my mom and dad both when I was a kid.
Wow.
I'm playing tennis and playing golf. And so making sure that I'm instilling that in my kids is huge. But yeah, being out, especially being in Southern California, you can literally exercise outside 350 days out of the year.
Yeah.
And so that is a non-negotiable for me. Taking time to slow down, we were talking about it a little bit earlier. With the hustle that is our independent contractor world, whether it's a podcast, whether it's acting and modeling, whether it's being a content creator, you can get into this zone where you feel like that's all there is all gas, no brakes.
Yeah.
And for me, I've kind of learned to be comfortable with the slowdown, even if that means money isn't coming in, even if that means that, oh shit, maybe they forgot about me, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know what's wild, and I hope they don't take any shade from this, because the Taylor Stitch zone for me was career defining.
Yeah.
It was career defining in a sense where I'm 5'10", I'm a little bit older, and I came to Taylor Stitch, or rather Taylor Stitch came to me after my 40th birthday. The imagery that Mike is able to create behind the lens is so iconic.
Absolutely.
And you were a part of it too.
Yeah.
I miss being on those walkabouts when it was just you, Mikey, Luke, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Onyx, whoever it was on those. It was usually just the two models, photographer, a guy's putting together outfits, and just fucking hella broing out good vibes, great conversation.
Yeah.
And I miss that part. I miss you guys. I miss you, Mikey.
Shout
I know
out
Theo
Taylor
does
Stitch.
too.
Shout out Mikey.
And so I can't even remember what the question was, but I like the
Finding your peace.
Oh, I think knowing that if you don't get the job, that it wasn't for you, not white knuckling life, because I think that people can smell those vibes from a mile away. And when you're you can feel desperation, you can sense it. And whether it's in person at a casting or something that you're sending in, when you don't need it, when you've released that need to impress somebody, I always used to tell people, you can see the difference of, I hope you guys like my read today. I hope you guys like me better than the guys that are all dressed the exact same way.
Yeah.
You can see the difference of that from, what's up, guys? I'm here to be an artist today. I'm going to do my thing. And as soon as I walk out that door, I'm not tied to any of it.
It's gone.
I'm not
Out of your
tied to
mind.
any of it from an
Yeah.
emotional standpoint.
Yeah.
And what happens when you do that? Whoa. People are sitting up in their chair.
Yeah.
Who the
Who
fuck
was that? 1000%. Yep.
Ring. Can we put Theon on Vail for next Monday through Thursday?
Yep.
Yeah. We'll be in Aspen. It's like that's when the magic happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got to give you your flowers as well, because I know that it's not easy what you do. And the guys that do our job and make it look easy, there's an art form to that.
Yeah.
And it's silly to say, I'm a model. He's a good model. You're one of the best. And I know that that's not easy, because what I'm sure a lot of people don't know is when we're out there, it's just us.
Yeah.
It's just us with the voices in our head, making up whatever story we're telling.
Yeah.
To work the lens to make a beautiful image, to make
Yeah.
a beautiful picture. And there's a difference between somebody who's done it and who's a vet and who gets it, to somebody who's just, there's way better looking people than me. There's way better looking people than you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's something to the way you go about your work that reads on camera that it's really hard for. I've never seen a bad picture of you.
There's plenty. There's plenty.
There's plenty. I know. I just haven't seen it. They've ended up on the cutting room floor.
Yeah. Delete immediately. Yeah.
But that's what's been so cool about, and we still don't know each other well. We'll continue to evolve in our relationship. But like you said at the beginning, when I first laid eyes on you, I was like, yeah, man, we're gonna be buddies.
Yeah.
And I like the way that you carry yourself with that, the word we were talking about earlier, the authenticity.
Yeah.
And I think that that's why you continue to work is because you're professional, you're cool, people are drawn to you, you're a nice dude, genuinely nice dude. And I think that that's what clients, that's what the world is freaking looking for these days.
What they're craving. Yeah. Absolutely. You know what? This has been such a blessing, and to me, because with everything else that I have going on, and I know that we're putting this out for people to see, whether if they resonate with it or not, or whatever happens with this, ultimately it doesn't matter, because I'm getting my peace right now, just sitting and listening to you. I truly believe that you are a result of the people that you surround yourself with and who you spend your time with, right? And I believe that if I continue to surround myself with and spend time with good people, then I myself am a good person.
Yeah.
So I wanna thank you for taking the time, and I'm gonna ask you for one more thing before we go.
Okay.
If there was one thing that you could tell to a husband, a father, a creator, an artist that might be going through a difficult time, that might be looking just for a word of encouragement, what would that be?
Gosh, I've been through so many different trials and tribulations, and I would say to anybody that's going through a tough time or trying to find their way is again, lean on the authenticity, lean on the special parts of you that nobody else has. Something that my dad says all the times is if things are good, wait a couple days, it'll change. If things are bad, wait a couple days, it'll change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get out and move your body, be in nature. I can't understate how important that is, for your mental health. Be curious. Be a lifelong learner. Because I think on the other end of those curiosities, you'll unlock some seriously cool stuff that may fuel that next chapter of your life. We're sitting in front of the ocean, and I heard an analogy the other day. It takes a really confident person to treat life like one of these waves. Because waves are going to crash, they're going to come and go. But every once in a while, you catch one of these waves, and it's the most beautiful thing ever.
Yeah.
But guess what? Then that ride ends, and you got to go find another one.
Yeah.
So find your truth, find your self-confidence, and be able to just take those waves as they come.
I'm going to ask you one more.
Okay.
Because you said something that I felt like needs a little bit of expounding.
Okay.
How do you find your truth?
Trial and error.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
That's a great question, man. How do you find your truth? And I think that it kind of goes back to the answer I just gave. It's like, don't get stuck. Believe in the hype. Don't get stuck chasing something that you think is going to result in happiness. Instead, look inward and just experiment and figure out what really truly makes you happy. What makes you the best version of yourself. I don't know. How would you answer that question? How do you find your truth?
I was going to say that I'm guilty of wanting instant gratification.
Sure.
Right? There are certain areas in my life where I'm very, very good at just putting in the work, keeping my head down, and then just planting seeds and waiting for them to grow over time. There are other things like social media. You're so good at social media, and that is something else that I like. I'm super inspired by the work that you do on social media, because for me, I'll post, and if it gets 50 likes, I'm like, and then I'm just like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. Which
I'm guilty of too, by the way.
Yeah.
I've got 13,000 followers, whatever they're called now, viewers, and there's times where I'm like, dude, I should have 1 million followers. I should have 100,000 followers. And you get caught up in the likes. You're like, oh shit, I got to go hide that like count. You know what I mean? It's been up for 30 minutes. Got 15 likes. Well, I got to go hide the like count. That's ego. I think another way to find truth is to let go of ego. If you think that you're that important to other people, you're just not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can put this out there, and hopefully people will see it, and hopefully they'll be inspired by our truthful conversation, our back and forth that we've been having. But as soon as you get wrapped up in what other people are thinking, or if they're thinking about you, period, I think that's when you start to make a lot of missteps, because just look at what's going on in our world, dude. And how stressed out people are, and people with real struggles. Like, I started looking at people, and this kind of kicked it into high gear during COVID, when we're all dealing with the same thing. It was that one moment in time where everybody in the world was dealing with the same thing. And I started looking at people not as my adversaries, not as my opponents, but as my teammates. And we might not be playing the same sport, but we're definitely playing some sort of event where we're all just trying to make it to the finish line, achieving whatever kind of success that is. So if I can look at you as my teammate, and instead of going, what the fuck is Theon doing, dude? Looking at him and being, yes, I see you, bro. And I know you're doing the best that you can possibly be doing in this moment in time. Good on you, bro. Keep climbing. You know what I mean?
Love that.
Look how much less of my energy that took than going, this guy, who does he think he is? Really? Okay, And like throwing shade and getting caught up in that, like, that doesn't do anything for me. Why not just go, right on, bro? That's what's making you happy. Keep doing it.
Absolutely.
Maybe that's the truth. Maybe that's where the truth lies, is just like looking at your fellow man and cheering him on.
I love that.
Nothing more truthful than that, right?
I love that. I appreciate you, man. I genuinely do.
This was fun, dude.
This was much needed.
I'm honored that you thought of me, and even more honored that we got to come out to the beach, deepen our friendship.
You know what? And I don't do it enough. You're the first guest that, fortunately for me, lives close to the beach, and living out here, this is something that I need to do a lot more. But it's just one of those things, right? You get so caught up with work and life that you forget that this beautiful thing is sitting right in your backyard.
Well, now that you've been down here, you see Longfellow Beach. Anytime you want to come down, get a run in, be like Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed out here running in the sand, tight ass short shorts on.
Hey
man, run it back.
That's viral potential right there.
We got to make that
That's
happen now.
viral potential right there.